So this is the end of the summer celebration of our Kids Eat Free program at Carolina's Healthcare System University. And I am so pleased with how this has turned out. I'm so pleased of the partnerships in our community that have made such a difference for kids in our community. And I want to thank our partners from the library here at University City, the Keith Family YMCA here in University City, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, Sodexo, our food partner, Kim Sellers, our junior volunteers, and our volunteers from UNC Charlotte. And then most importantly, I want to thank the people that made this happen every day. And Elaine Jones, and Michael Gibson, and these two people are the people that came to me well over a year ago and said, hey, we've got a great idea. Now that happens a lot in the hospital. Sometimes they're great ideas, sometimes they're not. This time it absolutely was. And these two incredibly talented people had a very clear vision of the difference we could make in our community and in these young people's lives by doing this program. They were focused, they were prepared, they were organized, and that great idea became a reality here at our hospital. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that reality meant. Because of our partners, we had a dynamic program that involved nutrition. It also involved literacy and reading. It also involved relationships, respect, and creativity, working with the CMPD, and it involved physical activity with the YMCA. What a great way to spend the summer, right, kids? And with that, when we started, my question, because we run a hospital, we need to know how many of what we're going to do. How many spine surgeries we're going to do, how many orthopedic surgeries we're going to do, how many ER visits we're going to do. And at university, we are really good at predicting things that almost seem unpredictable. So I asked Elaine and Michael, how many kids are we going to feed? And they said, we don't know, which caused me a little discomfort because we always try and figure it out. And they said, whatever it is, we can handle it. And they did handle it. And I want to thank Kim Sellers because Kim was very key to handling it, and she wasn't on the front end, but she was in on day one. So day one, we handled it because the number was a little bit bigger than the numbers that we thought. And I'm going to reveal the number right now because this is really kind of amazing. So Kathy, if you'll flip around the big number. 3, that's for 3,000. Anna. 4 for 400. And Maria. 0. And then Logan, a question mark, because we haven't served lunch yet. So over 3,400 meals served this summer right here at this hospital. And I think, it's so important because what happened here was from people here in University City. So our partners at the Y, our partners at with CMPD, our partners with the library, the staff here, but we had great help. We had help from the state of North Carolina. No Kids Go Hungry. Department of Agriculture who support their programming, and we're very pleased with how it all came together. So I'd like to invite our friends from Raleigh to the podium. From Raleigh, the state capital. You were born there? Well, we're glad you live here now.
I want to say that I'm Tamara Baker with No Kid Hungry, North Carolina, and we're very honored to be here, but we're especially excited about this great news of how many children got great meals this summer. Did some of y'all get those meals? Yeah. Well, I know you loved it. Well, we're really excited that this is such a monumental day here. We're coming to the close, getting ready to go back to school. Oh, great idea.
Man after my own heart. Pancakes and syrup and eggs is the way to start a day.
Okay.
Everything was awesome here this summer. You all did.
I have Cynthia Urban here from the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction with me, and we want to share some other good news with you today. If we could ask Elaine to come forward just a minute here. You know, feeding children these meals in the summertime that are reimbursed by the federal government is kind of a new thing. We're so excited that this is the first hospital in the state of North Carolina that has taken on the role of sponsoring these summer meals. It's really a big thing to be number one. And so because of that, we would like to give Elaine Jones a special honor. She has won a national award. Very well deserved. She has been named a National Summer Meals Hero by No Kid Hungry. There are only 5 heroes named in the United States. Certainly none other near us. So we're especially excited, and she gets a whole bag of goodies to share more about summer meals. And I also have a press release. We're going to be issuing it today, but some news media here have copies for you as well about this announcement. So congratulations to Elaine. Thank you so much, Elaine.
And just finally, from the Department of Public Instruction, we want to just thank everyone, especially you, for allowing this opportunity. Because you know there's many opportunities to actually serve meals and to do good in the community, and you chose this one, and we really appreciate it. And children, don't you really appreciate him making that choice too, right? The bottom line is this is such a great connection. Nutritious meals, healthcare, they go all along, and we so appreciate you making this your priority. And we look forward to plenty of years of doing very similar and tripling and doubling and quadrupling those numbers in the future. But we really look forward to it. So thank you all, and thank you for a great summer.
Thank you very much. So this program really reflects a lot more than just what we did. It reflects a new point of view about our hospital's role in the community. And it's about keeping our community healthy and social determinants of health. Literacy, activity, nutrition, all have a huge impact on somebody's health status for their entire life. And we are so fortunate to have the University of North Carolina at Charlotte as our next door neighbor. And we have got one of the faculty members here, Dr. Mark DeHaven, who is a national expert on this, explain how what's happening here in University City is so impactful. Dr. DeHaven? Sure,
appreciate it, and I will try not to say too much. But I am so excited to see this work. As Bill mentioned, I'm an expert in community medicine, and as an expert in community medicine, I get to see the devastating consequences throughout the world of children and people without living with appropriate nutrition. The consequences are devastating, and I want to talk a little bit about those. But the most important thing is that if you want to look and find the cutting edge programs happening not only in North Carolina or nationally, but in the world, it's happening right here at this hospital. So I really want to congratulate you. Because it's not easy to take that chance. To take that chance, as Bill was saying, to put confidence in someone that it's going to make a difference. So this program is a program to feed children, but it's so much more than that. And that's what I want to talk about, is why it's so much more than that. I look around this room and I see all of these healthy, productive, successful adults that are all living productive lives, having children, going to school, accomplishing things, contributing to society. And then I look at all these well-fed, healthy, vigorous children and know that now by virtue of this program, they're now on that trajectory to be able to live good, healthy, productive lives as well. Because all of us, the adults in this room, the way we get to be productive adults is through what Bill mentioned, the social determinants of health. Where you live, the kind of housing you have, the kind of education available to you, the kind of healthcare system available to you, and the nutrition available to you all contribute to making you who you are in life. We've discovered this, we've learned this over the course of the last 30 years. And what we found is that your genetic code is relatively not that important to your health and who you end up being in life. It's not nearly as important as your zip code. So where you're born really makes a difference, and let me talk a little bit about that. So when we look around Charlotte, I use Charlotte as the example. When we look around Charlotte, we find that about 35% of the families in Charlotte are food insecure. Let me say that number again, 35%. 35% of families means they are uncertain whether or not they are going to get another meal after the one they've just eaten. And to give you a comparison about that, that is almost double the national percentage. So in Charlotte, we have some very significant problems. When we look around specifically our community right here, the community around University City, almost all of the households in this area are below the threshold for free and reduced lunch. So if you do not have access to free and reduced lunch, as is the case in the summertime, the consequences of that are absolutely devastating. And what it means is that almost all of the children in the area surrounding this hospital are food insecure. Now, what does food insecurity translate into? What are the consequences? For those of you who are unfamiliar with nutrition, the consequences are obesity, and many of us, most of us are familiar with the obesity epidemic. Right now, 20% of our children are obese. If you add to that overweight, it's a much greater number, almost 40%. So what does it mean to be obese? It means you have a condition that we call inflammation. And what inflammation does is make you at great risk for heart disease, for diabetes, for type 2 diabetes, also for psychological problems, depression, anxiety, stress, breathing problems like asthma, and the worst possible thing is now that you've experienced those things as a child, you are at greater likelihood of experiencing them as an adult. And when you experience them as an adult, your likelihood of living a long, productive life is greatly diminished. In some of the zip codes in Charlotte, the life expectancy is 20 years higher than some of the other zip codes. 20 years difference just by virtue of the zip code that you're born into. So we're familiar with obesity. When I started out in medicine back in 1991, we were starting to see the increase in childhood obesity, and we're seeing right now another epidemic that is going to challenge and probably surpass the obesity epidemic. And that's an epidemic of malnutrition. Not actually having the vitamins and the minerals that you need to appropriately develop your brain. Right now, 85% of American adults are malnourished. And the consequences for children are even worse. 50% of our children do not get enough of vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, and vitamin C. When we look at the minerals, zinc and magnesium, fully a quarter of children don't get those minerals in their diet. And the result of malnutrition is something we call immunodeficiency, which means that your immune system cannot function. And the epidemic that we're seeing that is going along with this is what we call autism, cognitive problems, developmental disabilities, brain function that is so diminished that it is not even possible, given the best school system, given the best teachers, given the best possible circumstances, it is not possible for children to learn because without those minerals and vitamins, cognitive function is reduced. You're more susceptible to disease. You cannot learn. Actually, without having certain minerals, your IQ is reduced by 15 points. You literally cannot think. And when we look in the local surrounding area, what we find is that our schools are performing at a much lower level than around the rest of the city and county and around the rest of North Carolina. And why is that? Is it because the students are not working as hard? No. Students are working just as hard. Is it because the teachers are not working as hard? Absolutely not. The teachers are working very hard. But it is not possible to be able to be productive learners if you don't have adequate housing, if you don't have access to health, if you don't have access to appropriate nutrition, and if you don't have the full range of things that have led to all of us becoming productive adults. So when I see the Kids Eat Free program, for me, yes, it's a wonderful program to feed kids, but it is so much more than that. In this area, we've developed something called the U-City Family Zone that integrates housing and health and education, social cohesion, all of the assets in this community. And when I see the work that Elaine Jones is doing in nutrition, supported by Atrium Health, I not only see kids being fed, I see kids who may have not had a life chance, being given a life chance. I see them being able now to learn in ways that they couldn't learn before, and I see the possibility of a life course absolutely changing, a diminished likelihood of developing chronic diseases, and the ability to improve our overall society. So I'm just thankful for them. I'm thankful they're a part of University City and the U-City Family Zone. And I am delighted to see this continue. And it really makes U-City and University City a very special place, not only in Charlotte, but throughout the rest of the country. So Elaine and Bill, thank you very much.
So one of the things that people are interested in, so when we started this, we said we're going to study what we're doing, we're going to learn from what we're doing, and we're going to build a toolkit to help our sister hospitals assess what their role is, so that next summer other Atrium hospitals and other hospitals in North Carolina will be able to make the same impact that we've made. So more to come on that. And I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank the children who, one of the other things I was concerned with is a hospital is a serious place. We have people that are dealing with major life events, life and death, births of babies, cancer diagnosis, and y'all have been so well behaved. Give yourselves a round of applause. Because I told Elaine that my favorite job was, I was a summer camp counselor for 8 years, and I still have my whistle, and I still have my shirt, and if I had to, I was going to break it out, but I never had to, because y'all were so good. And thank you so much for that, and thank you to all of our partners, and to the children and the families and the camps that figured out how to get them here, because we didn't have a transportation solution, and it all worked out beautifully. So Elaine, as is her practice, has arranged for a wonderful interactive event. So please look at the pictures, go to the tables. Elaine, anything you want to share about that?
Enjoy the last day, everybody.
And enjoy the last day. Lunch will be served shortly, and I want to thank our entire food service team, again, from Sodexo. They went above and beyond in producing all these lunches and breakfast for these children, and so thank you to them. So Jeff Matt's back there in the back. Y'all give him a special round of applause. And thanks so much, and good luck in school.
Yeah.